What's the worst piece of advice, writing advice, you've ever been given?
Well, I mean, a piece of advice you see often is don't write about characters that you haven't lived, which is often political now. And that is just nonsense. It annoys the hell out of me. You know, it's why you have an imagination. So that is a terrible piece of writing advice.
Yeah, write what you know is the other way of phrasing it, people say. And I think that's basically what you said. And I agree. It's a horrible piece of advice.
And it's interesting. I mean, to a degree, I agree with it in that, I mean, I'm writing at the moment and I've got an agent who is saying, you know, include a more diverse cast, which is absolutely fine. I can do that. Although I kind of do it anyway. But if you want to include someone French, I can muck around with English names. I can call somebody something like, I met a guy the other day called Piers Bollard and his wife, Emma Bollard. And I think this is two of the best names ever, Emma and Piers Bollard, brilliant names. And I understand why they're brilliant names. To me, nobody else in the whole world might get this, but I think they're cool. And they're very, you know, I'd like to use those as character names. I can't do that in French, even though I speak reasonable French. You know, I can't be as you know, I don't think I can be as funny or appealing in my writing in a different language. Or in a different culture. So there is something in the write what you know. But if I was only going to write about fat guys approaching their 50s who wish they were thinner, then
it would be a boring story. It's just a biography.
Actually, it's not a terrible idea. Yeah, I mean, you will always get a character in my books. But I like the idea of writing from a female perspective or writing from an Australian perspective or whatever. You know, it's fun to read and research and write things out. Now, you've recently written a book on bad and good advice given to writers.
Yeah, and this one of my things is don't write what you know, because
hang on.
Hello.
No one else likes your cats, and no one else finds cats appealing.
What's the name of that cat?
That cat is called Napa, named after the valley in America.
Nice.
When we got cats.
Hello, Napa. My cats are both asleep, so they won't be making an appearance. So write what you know suggests that you only write characters that you've met or people that you've experienced of or things you've experienced of. On the one hand, yes, I can see it makes sense because people think that therefore you won't get it wrong, you won't offend anybody. But on the other hand, if all I'm doing is writing about the things that I've experienced, it's quite a boring fantasy book. Fantasy books are full of wizards and killers and kings and queens and, you know, all sorts of weird non-human race. I've got non-human races in my books. So I think as long as you treat everything with respect, you do your homework. I mean, you always get this wrong. I don't think I mentioned this to you, but for my birthday a couple of years ago, my brother said, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't want a thing. Let's go and do something for the day. And he said, all right, what? I said, let's go and do like blacksmithing for a day. I've written about blacksmiths in all my books, making swords. And he goes, okay, I found a place near me. You can come and be a blacksmith for the day and make a sword. Brilliant. We went down, we spent the whole day with the blacksmiths. I made a sword, sort of. And thereafter, I apologized to the blacksmith and said, I'm so sorry. I've got everything wrong. I've done all my homework and I still got it wrong. And they were like, yeah, we know. And obviously you can't make a sword in a day. When I said that to them, they just laughed because it's not possible to actually make a real sword in a day. I made a crap sword. He said, what are you going to do with it? I said, I'm going to hang it on the wall. He said, okay. If you said you were going to go out and do, cover it in foam and hit people with it, do some LARPing, I would have changed the way we were doing it. He said, but because she was hanging it on a wall, I don't need to worry about it falling apart. But, you know, I'd done my homework. I'd read about blacksmiths and I still got it wrong. So going forward, I'll do better. But I think that's all you can do is do your research.
I'm really old school. I do my homework, but I don't think you have to. I think you're writing. It doesn't matter. You can write whatever the hell you want. Get it wrong. It's okay. You know, it shouldn't matter. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong. People can take it for whatever it is. People should be able to judge and say, you know, no, well, this book's rubbish, and they won't read it, or they will read it and find it hilarious.
But we're not seeking to go out and offend people on purpose. We're just writing about things.
But you know, I just moved to New Forest. If someone from San Francisco wrote a book on the New Forest and it just got it entirely wrong, didn't understand English people, had never met one, it wouldn't. It's not offensive. It's funny, or it's shit. You know, it's one of the two. Or you can ignore it, or you can laugh at it, or that's it. The thing to not to do is take it seriously and get all upset about it. Why would you?